Alright, let's get into this. I wasn't exactly planning to make this video, at least not in this way, but some topics just won't go away, and this is definitely one of them. The speculation around this particular player is everywhere. Every day it feels like there's a new rumor, a new report, a new supposed insider saying he's headed to this team or that one. And now, once again, a team has been mentioned as a possible destination. Supposedly, he's interested. Supposedly, there's mutual admiration. But honestly, I don't really buy it. Not yet, at least. There's something about this whole situation that doesn't fully convince me, and I think it's worth diving into all the layers, especially with the way people have been reacting lately. Now, I know this isn't everyone's favorite subject. It's not exactly mine either. But I recognize when something has momentum. This story has traction, people are talking, and even if I don't feel entirely sold on the idea, I know we're probably going to revisit this a few more times before it's all said and done. So, let's not waste time and get to what really matters here. Before we go any further, I want to make something clear. I'm not saying this player lacks talent. Far from it. He's clearly skilled, one of the most explosive at his position. That's not up for debate. The issue, at least for me, is everything that comes along with him. The personality, the fit within a system, the commitment, and of course the financial side of things. And let's be real, those factors matter just as much as talent, if not more, when you're talking about building a winning culture. I remember watching a video right after the end of the season. It wasn't live, but it dropped shortly after his team played their final game. In that video, the host said something that stuck with me. It was the first time this team had missed the playoffs in quite a while, and right after the loss, this player was already talking about his future in a way that felt distant, detached. He was asked about staying with the team, and the response was vague, non-committal. You could tell he was weighing his options, talking about what's best for him, what's best for his family, whether that means staying or moving on. It was like the loss had already been processed, and now it was just about what benefits him the most going forward. I get it, he's a professional. He's earned the right to think about his career, but it still rubbed me the wrong way. From a purely football standpoint, there's no denying his value. The talent is there. He can stretch the field, make big plays, and change games in a heartbeat. But when I try to picture him joining this new team that's being mentioned, the system, the locker room culture, the expectations, I just don't see it meshing well. I feel like his energy doesn't line up with what they're trying to build. He's coming off a season where his production dipped, and he wasn't able to break 1,000 yards. Yes, some people will argue that his numbers suffered because of injuries around him or instability at quarterback, and maybe that's true to some extent. But even then, I didn't see the kind of leadership or resilience that you expect from a veteran player who wants to be the focal point of a new offense. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room, his contract. He's going to be 30 soon, and the deal he's under includes a guarantee of $27 million in the year 2 mil and 25. That's a massive commitment for any franchise, especially one that's trying to balance cap space, rookie deals, and other key extensions. From what I've gathered, they're sitting on around $30 million in available cap, but you've got to factor in draft picks and other moves. Realistically, they might not have enough room to bring him in unless they do some serious restructuring. And that's assuming he even wants to take a pay cut or work out a deal, which, let's be honest, doesn't sound like something he's in the mood for. It reminds me of a game I watched a couple of seasons back when a Miami team played against Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium. In that matchup, the wide receiver in question absolutely went off. He was electric, and at the time, there was a lot of buzz, a lot of debate about whether the Miami quarterback had actually outplayed the one from LA. That argument was everywhere. Fans are going wild with hot takes. But looking back now, with the benefit of a little distance, I think most of us can agree. The quarterback from Los Angeles is just on another level. He's proven it time and again. The consistency, the poise under pressure, the arm talent, it's all there. The Miami quarterback, on the other hand, has really struggled to stay healthy. That's not even an opinion, it's just a fact. The injuries keep piling up, and they're clearly affecting his performance. You can't ignore that kind of thing, especially when evaluating whether a receiver like this would even want to stick around in that situation. If you gave him the option to pair up with the LA quarterback, I mean, come on, the ceiling would be insane. I can see why that idea is floating around. The chemistry could be off the charts. But here's the part that frustrates me. People keep pretending like it's a simple move to make. It's not. It's incredibly complicated. Beyond the salary, beyond the scheme fit, there's the question of locker room dynamics. Would he even gel with the other players? Would he buy into the system? Or would he be more focused on getting his numbers, making sure his brand stays strong, and positioning himself for the next big payday? There's also the idea that if the team doesn't land a solid wide receiver in the upcoming draft, and they've got 10 picks, by the way, then maybe they circle back to this player as a short-term solution. Someone with experience. Someone the quarterback already knows. Maybe even someone who retires wearing this team's jersey, even if he only has a year or two left in the tank. That's a possibility, but I still think it's a stretch. I don't see the front office pulling the trigger unless things line up perfectly, and right now, it just doesn't feel like they do. And when you look at the finances again, it gets tricky. We talked about that $27 million guarantee for $2 million in 25. That's not pocket change. Add in the current $30 million available in cap. Subtract the projected cost for 10 rookie picks, and suddenly the wiggle room disappears. Even if there's some creative accounting, pushing money into future years, adjusting existing deals, it still feels like a stretch. And we haven't even talked about the fact that the player in question will absolutely want to raise. He's not coming over on a discount. He'll want a deal that reflects his value, or at least what he believes that value is. And I don't think he sees himself as a bridge receiver or a role player. He wants to be a headline. Now could a trade work? Maybe. A late-round pick, with the other team eating some of the salary? That's a possibility that's been floated around. But I just don't see it happening. Too many moving parts, too much uncertainty. And to be honest, I'm not even sure this team would make that call unless everything else falls through in the draft. If they miss on every receiver they like, maybe they revisit the idea. But even then, it's far from guaranteed. There's also something to be said about timing. We're getting closer to the draft, and that window for making a splashy move is starting to close. If a deal was really going to happen, it probably would have happened by now. The fact that it hasn't tells me there's either hesitation internally or the numbers just don't add up. And either way, that's telling. So what does that leave us? Right in the middle of a classic NFL standoff. A team trying to stay disciplined, trying to stick to its values. A player looking for his next big opportunity with all the talent in the world, but plenty of baggage too. And a fan base split between excitement and concern. It's the kind of situation where there's no clear answer. Just a lot of speculation, a lot of debate, and a lot of waiting. And honestly, I could be wrong. Maybe he ends up fitting in perfectly. Maybe the concerns about his attitude are overblown, and what he really needs is a fresh start with a motivated quarterback and a smart coaching staff. That's the best case scenario, right? But it's not the most likely one. And if you're running a franchise that's trying to build something sustainable, do you really take that gamble? Do you roll the dice when the stakes are this high? That's where I want to leave it with you all. Let me know what you think. Are we being too cautious? Too skeptical? Or are we seeing the situation clearly and protecting the bigger picture? Maybe there's something I'm missing here. If so, hit the comments and break it down for me. I'll be watching. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Los Angeles Chargers. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Whispers turned into roars in NFL circles this week as reports surfaced linking the Los Angeles Chargers with a sensational pursuit of veteran quarterback Matthew Stafford. While Stafford recently restructured his contract to stay with the Rams, sources close to the situation suggest that the Chargers are not backing down quietly. Their front office, seeking an elite veteran presence to lead a young and evolving roster, has zeroed in on Stafford as the ideal blend of experience, leadership, and arm talent. The interest, though surprising to some, makes strategic sense. With Stafford still ranking among the league's most prolific passers, surpassing 3,700 yards and 20 touchdowns in the 2024 season, the Chargers see a rare opportunity to upgrade their quarterback room with a proven winner. His Super Bowl pedigree and his continued ability to deliver under pressure, as seen in the Rams' 2024 playoff run, only amplify his appeal. Internally, The Chargers have reportedly conducted extensive film reviews and analytic sessions to map Stafford's fit within their offensive scheme. The bold pursuit, however, comes with its complications. The Rams have shown no desire to part ways with Stafford, especially after a productive season and a solid playoff showing. Furthermore, with his restructured deal now in place, any trade would require not only a compelling package, but also a willingness from Stafford himself to make the switch across town. That said, the Chargers believe the allure of a new challenge, potentially steering a hungry team back to postseason relevance, could strike the right chord with the 36-year-old signal caller. Sources indicate that conversations between Chargers executives and Stafford's camp intensified in recent weeks, particularly after the quarterback met with the Raiders and Giants earlier in the offseason. While those talks didn't result in a move, they signaled Stafford's openness to exploring new opportunities if the fit felt right. The Chargers are now hoping that their roster talent, coaching setup, and location in sunny Southern California will be enough to tip the scales in their favor. As the NFL offseason drama continues to unfold, all eyes are now on the Chargers' next move. Will they craft an irresistible offer to tempt the Rams into a blockbuster deal? Or will this pursuit end as another what could have been? One thing is certain. The Chargers aren't afraid to aim high, and with Matthew Stafford in their sights, they're chasing more than just headlines. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Los Angeles Chargers, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.